One. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have got some gossip, some drama for you. My God, we are going to talk and break down this Viktor Gyokeres situation at Sporting CP as it unfolds. Cunha stands out for Brazil last night. We'll talk about his performance. We have a new goalkeeper target, according to Ben Jacobs. Let's discuss him, who I've actually never heard of before. And Ineos have made another shrewd signing, another under-18 star with plenty of potential, and there's some interesting things coming out from Academy Scoop. So yeah, we'll talk about that as well. But Sam, how are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Chill day. The sun is shining. Warm weather. It's a good day. If it wasn't for the actual drama kicking off with, why is it always a saga with United when it comes to transfers? Every time there's always some drama. But yeah, we'll get into it.
It's definitely interesting, isn't it? It's things are heating up in Manchester, and things are definitely heating up over in Portugal between the board and Gyokeres. And I think this whole situation, to be honest with you, is quite fascinating. So we had reports last night basically coming in from Record Portugal that Gyokeres has told Sporting he's never going to play for him again. The player is ready to go on strike and will not return for pre-season. The relationship between the club and the player is broken. Obviously, it still remains a target for Manchester United and Arsenal. And he also removed Sporting from his bio as well, in terms of, and we've seen this before, Jadon Sancho done it with United, but of course for different reasons. Now, the interesting thing is, this morning, was it, Sam? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Previously, though, just before that, there was reports, because I put them out on Instagram for the news and stuff. There was reports of that the gentleman's agreement, which we'll get into, was actively not being pursued by Sporting when it came to like bids for players, because obviously United have been in contact, Arsenal have been in contact, I think a few others have. And the reason why there's been no bids going is because the gentleman's agreement that he apparently agreed on, which we'll get into in the statement, wasn't being adhered to. That's why no bids have come in. So that's why Gyokeres is absolutely frustrated by what's going on, because he was expecting to leave this summer with this gentleman's agreement, and now it's not happening. But obviously the statement is sort of sheds a bit more light on it.
Yeah, context is very, very important in this situation. So, the Sporting CP president, Frederico Varandas, released a statement that says the following. There's a bit of a mouthful, so stick with me for around 45 seconds just whilst I read it out, because you need to get each detail. I tried to take 3 days off. I came back yesterday. I saw so much information and counter information that it's only fair to come and explain the process. It started last year when the 23-24 season ended and Sporting became national champions during the transfer market. We saw that he was going to stay because there was no offer, according to them. The agent spoke to us to add some clauses. Hugo Viana, as he always did, very well managed the relationship with the agents. This relational space is established with the sports director. One of the agent's biggest concerns was whether we would demand the termination clause. Hugo Viana negotiated with the agents over several meetings until the agent demanded the presence of the president at this meeting, which included the president. The agent and Viana, Gyokeres, was not present. He wanted to guarantee certain things. And what was agreed, that Sporting would not demand a release clause for now, for one reason: he was going to be 27 years old, and no player leaves Portugal at 27 for 100 million or 90 million. In that same meeting, the agent wanted to anchor the exit to a value. I said this sentence: it's not worth us setting a value because I don't know what will happen in a year's time. I don't know if it'll be 40, 60 or 80 million. What I can guarantee is that I will not demand 100 million euros from then on. I never spoke to the agent again. I never spoke to the player about departures or values. Now I see the agent in the press releasing information. I want to make one thing clear: Sporting has common sense and keeps its word. Gyokeres scored 63 goals and 10 assists. Fantastic performance. Certainly one of the best players to have ever stepped onto Portuguese turf, and Sporting will not demand the release clause. And in this last bit, now blackmail and insults, Sporting will not accept. One thing is certain: Sporting will not accept 60 million plus 10 in add-ons as of today. Sporting have not received any proposal for Gyokeres. The big question I had leading from this, Sam, was, in this kind of modern era of football, is verbal assurance, can we have that without a number or a binding promise?
I think in business in general, I think gentlemen's agreements and handshake deals are kind of, I don't want to say you're stupid if you take it as gospel, but unless you get stuff in writing nowadays, people will lie, cheat, steal to not
the Eddie Guerrero, the agents.
Yeah, like they just won't. So it happens in business as well. Like people will promise, oh yeah, the promotion's yours, you'll definitely get it. It's just like we can't say anything, blah blah blah, and then you end up not getting it. And they went, oh, this, and it's like, well, you told me it was mine, and you're like, well, no, we were suggesting that, but there's nothing in writing, and you can't prove it, basically.
Yeah,
it's a very similar thing. Like it happens in business a lot, and obviously it happens within football agencies. So, from what I got from that statement was they sat down and Gyokeres wasn't there, just the agent, which is weird. It's a big meeting and the player isn't there, which is weird, but
very strange.
whatever. And they agreed to stay for a year because they didn't want no teams came in for him, but they said they wanted to go but not have the release clause paid for him to go this summer, which is 100 million euros, I believe. So that was agreed, but there was never a price agreed to what price he would be allowed to go with, because he said prices can vary, they could change depending on what happens with his age, blah blah blah. But yeah, gentleman's agreement, blah blah blah. And now it's come to the summer. The agent and the player were under the impression it was this price, and now the president is saying there was no price set, but we're not going to hold to the 100 million. So now they're Gyokeres and his agent accusing him of like throwing away the handshake deal and going back on the word. The president is saying there was no like proper deal or any numbers in place. All that was agreed was this, and we haven't spoken since. So it seems a lot like he said, she said. With the only people who know what's actually happening is the people in the meeting. So one of them is lying. So we don't know which one. So we kind of just take it as he said. So it could, I don't know if you're going to get into which way it could go after this question.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll save it till after that. But
yeah.
that's what it seems like for people who don't want to read the statement. And it's a wordy one. That's basically what I've got from it, I think.
Yeah, we have seen a few cases like this. I remember, I think it was Harry Kane at Spurs. Apparently, there was a verbal agreement with Daniel Levy to go Man City. And then I think he said he weren't selling for less than 150 million or something ridiculous like that. And he was like, visibly.
Did his brother change something on it, I believe?
I can't remember the specific details of it. But yeah, there was that situation. I think there was something to do with Napoli and Osman as well with a verbal agreement. And obviously that's gone to shit as well. So I don't know if it's a reoccurring striker thing, but you'd think, Sam, given the season that he's just done and had for them, and they just won another league title, they mentioned the goal, 50, 60 odd goals in the season. He's almost earned the right to say, if you've got a verbal agreement, I know technically from a court standpoint or whatever, but just looking at that, he has earned the right to say, okay, I'm getting 27 now, get a decent chunk of change for me, and I'll move on to the Premier League, no?
Yeah, but they're in the position of, obviously, Portuguese clubs don't have the amount of money that we do. Not we as in it, but as in English clubs, because obviously all the money's in the Premier League. So they don't have that sort of money. So they rely on selling top stars for top money. So they want to get every single cent and pound for their player as much as they can. And if there's no legal agreement in terms of like a release clause, they're going to push for a highest price they can get possible. Now, obviously, you risk pissing the player off, pissing the agent off, which is what's happening. And if this drags on into July and August, and he's basically not in pre-season, which Ronaldo didn't do for us, didn't he? We claimed there was some other reasons going on, but he wasn't there. But is what it is. He's not in pre-season, so then if he does end up staying, you've then got a striker who doesn't want to be there, who's not had a pre-season, and he's not going to be fully fit, and you're going to lose all your value. So by the time next year, his value is going to drop through the floor. So then what does Sporting do? You've lost out on a bunch of money. But then at the same time, because he's kicked up such a fuss and because he's kicked up like things is like, do they just go, right, we need to get rid of him because this is just going to be a problem. So maybe then there's a price to be negotiated with United, with Arsenal, or whoever that wants to buy him. So maybe then it plays into the buyer's hands because they know he's pissed off and they know potentially they want to get rid of him. Or do they want to go down with the ship and go, no, we're not selling for the price and we'll keep him if we have to. So it could go either way for United. It could be really good, or it could be that we don't get him.
Well, in my opinion, I think they've looked at this and they've gone, look, he's just got 60-odd goal involvements. We cannot let him go for £60 million, especially with Darwin Núñez, who moved from Benfica for £80 million. He's had, double the season he's just had. Obviously, Núñez was a little bit younger, so you can take that into account. Now, they say they're not going to demand 100 million, but then they won't accept 60 plus 10. So what is his price, and what is a fair price?
Like I said, for them, it's going to be what 80, 90. That's what they're going to want.
Sounds like it.
That's what they're going to want. They're going to want 80, 90. Because if they're not demanding 100, but he's not going for 60, it has to be 70, 80, 90. And I imagine they're going to go on the higher end. So maybe there's a deal to be done at 70, 75 for people who want him. Maybe there's a deal to be done there. I don't know.
If clubs though, if you're a negotiating club like Arsenal or United and you're looking at this,
yeah,
it's going to be no. You can't add it up now. We've been under the assumption for the past couple of months that this is going to be 60, 65. Well, obviously, you got to take his wages into account as well.
Well, Romano was saying United have been in contact every single day, apparently, and this must be why, because there's been confusion over like his agent and the player is saying one thing, but the club is saying another, and they're trying to figure out what the fuck's gone on. Now, obviously, it's exploded into the public, but like it could play into negotiating clubs' hands. They could be like, well, this was the price originally. Now you're blowing up and he clearly don't want to be there. You've fallen out with him. Do you really want to keep a player like that? Or do you want to make some money off him and we'll pay whatever amount, X amount? So it could work in our favour, potentially.
But also you get the ripple effect as well, don't you? Because you think the longer this goes on, the longer it's in the public domain, especially when it's linked with clubs like United and Arsenal and Premier League. The dressing room starts getting word of it, starts what's going on. Like, are they actually going against the player? There's a bit of a split and a right. Like, we've seen it with Sancho and Rashford and players like that before.
Happened with when we tried to buy Anthony. Remember, he went on strike, didn't he? Ajax didn't go to the training ground and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
He was through the move.
Yeah.
So you could see similar things there where he's like, no, I'm not going to come. When pre-season starts, he might be like, I'm not going to come train. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because he said the words were on strike, wasn't he? So that you could see that happening. So, like, what did he do then?
Interesting to get a fan's opinion on this as well. What we're going to try and do, actually, we've spoke about this off camera. We will try and get Sporting Sam on, who we've had on before, who's obviously a Sporting CP fan, and I think he'll have a better kind of view of it in terms of what's going on inside the fan culture and stuff. So I think that'll be really important. So we will try that after we finish the show. Me or Sam will get all of him. We'll try to get him on the show. But just in my opinion, I thought, look, reading into this and reading everything around it and what's going on, when it comes to moral values, I know football doesn't work like that, but you don't promise someone an open door and then argue about the hinges when someone walks through it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't change the goalpost. It's literally, if you wanted to use a striker analogy, it's like going through one goal and it's going, no, we're going to move that over there now. I don't rate that at all. And I think, do you know what? The player will get a bad look about this as well, removing it from his bio. He's arguing with the club. You know, do they want a player like that who's causing such a fuss? That'll come into it as well, won't it? Them kind of narratives.
There's hundreds of factors now that in this, which it could have been a very simple, nice deal where Gyokeres is like, I've been here for a few years, I've won stuff, I really enjoy my time, but it's time to move on. Gets to say goodbye. Fans, they wish him luck. They get a bit of money. He goes to somewhere and it's done. And next time if he ever goes back there, he gets a nice welcome. Now it's going to be messy. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be mudslinging in the press and on social media.
I love that phrase. Mudslinging.
That's what it is, isn't it? They're just fucking throwing shit at each other like monkeys. And you're just like, what happens then? Like, how do you resolve this? It's just going to be a really messy divorce now, isn't it? Like, it's going to be like, nobody's really going to get what they want. Like, Sporting are going to have their name dragged through the mud and it potentially could get less for a player who's highly valued. Gyokeres is going to be put in a position where he's basically going to be in limbo because he doesn't know what's going to happen with his future, if he's going to be let go for a price. And then the clubs chasing him don't know whether they're ever going to get him because they don't know what's happening. So it just causes shit for everybody. Nobody's a winner in this situation, really. I
think Arsenal are going to play an important piece in this as well, because we've heard that they're advancing talks with Benjamin Sesko, for example, but we just also had news coming in, the agent of Gyokeres is currently in a meeting with them as well, so they're trying to understand it. So, I don't know, maybe there's an open door for Sesko if they go for Gyokeres, maybe there's an open door for Gyokeres if they go for Sesko. I don't really know at this point, but I'm sure we will hear plenty more drama unfolding on this, and it'll all be on our Instagram, so make sure you drop us a follow on there.
It's, as always, it's a transfer domino, isn't it? Once one player goes, everything else just starts going. Around. So
all the way down to like League 3, League 4. That's the ripple effect it can have at times. We're going to stick with fiery players, not in a similar situation, but Matheus Cunha stood out for Brazil last night, Sam, against Paraguay. I mean, they only won 1-0, but he got an assist in it. And his stats got released after the game. 100% successful take-ons, 6 defensive actions, 5 passes into the final third, 4 crosses, 2 fouls, 1 shot, 1 assist. Created the most chances of any player on the pitch. And you think if you're standing out for a Brazil team, which had Vinicius and Rafinha, you must be doing something right. And also exciting to see him in a United shirt soon.
Yeah. No, I saw. I didn't see much of the game. I saw the goal though, and he's like running towards the byline, one in, and he cuts it across as he gets tackled.
Exactly what we need.
Is something we have desperately missed. Like the only player who's sort of been doing that is Patrick Dorgu, really, and Ahmad when he's been there. So
you also, by the way, Patrick Dorgu had a really good game for Denmark.
I saw the stats. I didn't see the sort of game, but I heard the stats. So he looked good. So that could be vital for us on that side where you've got Dorgu and you've got Cunha. That could be a really interesting sort of lineup. But yeah, it's good to see him playing well. It's good to see him confidence is still there and he's still shining and stuff. And hopefully it continues when he comes to United. Because really excited to see. I'm waiting for those sort of press shots. He's in the kit.
Oh yeah,
the interview and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Sure, though, he looks like he's just got like the temperament to suit United. That kind of When you speak about old players, I'm not saying he's got the same ability as these players, but your Beckham's, Ronaldo's, Cantona's, it just seems he has that bit of attitude and character about him, which we absolutely need. I'm excited to see him in pre-season, man. If you remember the last pre-season, how fucking dire it was. Was it the one where Mount and Onana came in? Am I right in thinking that last pre-season?
Yeah, but we only had Mount on pre-season, didn't we?
No, that was the year. Sorry, that was the year before. Year before, right. Yeah. So the last one, it was still pretty shit though. Like I know Euro and people came in, but Euro got injured in pre-season, didn't it?
The first game.
Yeah, and then we lost a couple of games as well.
What Delict, like injured for the first bit or something like that?
Potentially, yeah.
I'm sure he had.
Xerxes was a little bit later in the window, I think.
I think he's late in the window.
What I remember. Yeah, it was just like the past few pre-seasons have been shit, haven't they? When you think about it.
Hoyland was injured when we got him as well, wasn't he? He had a back injury for the first 10 games or something like that.
Yeah. So it's just from my side of things, I just think it's nice to see players in before pre-season kicks off, and it looks like we're going to get Burmo in. And Bumo, in before the window as well. So nice to see a couple of signings there. And because we've got so many new youngsters coming in, which we'll also discuss towards the end of the show, another player that we signed, that's another aspect I want to see, like your Cheetos, the Amas, your Heavens, all those players kind of mixing in with the premium players as well. So yeah, we'll talk about that new kind of Ineos signing in a moment. That's going to be the last topic of the show. But Ben Jacobs reported before that Nice's goalkeeper, Marcin Bułka, is apparently on the list of potential goalkeepers this summer. The club are still determining if they should sign a new number one this summer as well, so they're kind of weighing up their options. But in your mind, what type of goalkeeper do we need to go for? Because you see this link here, right? Probably going to cost 20-30 million pounds for someone like this who's, it might considered as a goalkeeper who's taking that next step up. But as you've seen in the public press with Chelsea, you've got Maignan there who Milan want 25 million for. Surely you just go and get him, no?
I mean, Chivy won't be happy, but it's an inside joke, by the way. Yes. I think I yearned for the days of a boring goalkeeper. Do you remember those days where like Van der Sar, never any big massive slip ups, didn't like come out with his feet too much, just made decent stops. Nothing like absolutely stunning. Like, like Emilio Martinez made that save of the season where he's fucking claws out flying. But then against us, he just fucking clatters Rasmus Højlund out of nowhere. And you're just like, I don't need both sides of that. Like, I just need a solid 8 out of 10 goalie like Van der Sar, who was just like consistently good, didn't make any massive mistakes, wasn't flashy, wasn't showy. And just, you knew it was just like, you stick him in and you'd be all right. You'd be fine. Just give me someone like that. I don't need an entertainer like Bartes, who is dancing in the goal and just sort of a bit mental. I don't need Taibbi, who's letting it slip through his legs with his tracksuit bottoms on. I don't need any of that. I need just a solid, boring goalie that, where you don't speak about him. You're just like, kept a clean sheet, did what you need to do, cool, and move on. That's what I want. I'm so tired of just every game, it's just like discussing what Onana's not doing or what he has done to cost us the game. Every week, you just like when he's pushing the ball out, if he's miskicked it and like not got to a player, or he's made a massive mistake. It just seems to be the same thing every week. Or he's made an absolute stunning save one week and then dropped it in his own net the following week. Like, just boring. Give me a boring goalie. That's all I want. Like, just anybody.
I think just premium. You've seen what Wojciech Szczesny's done in his late years. Like, I would want. I mean, Magnan's, I don't even think he's 30 yet. I think he's 28, 29, similar age to Onana, which is almost like 23 as a football player. Like, because goalkeepers can go on for longer.
Yeah.
Someone of that ilk who's played for a big club. Milana fell off recently, but so have United. So maybe it is a perfect fit for him. I don't know why there's so many deals around Europe. Ryan Cherky's someone we spoke about before, who City have just signed, right? For, I think, £20-odd million. Don't know why we were never in for that. Magnan's another opportunity. Don't know why we're not in for that. I'm sure there was other ones as well, midfield and defenders.
That Nipan who's going to City now.
Yeah.
He was what 15-20 million or something. Yeah. Like, why are we not on that?
They just signed Ain't Nori as well for 30-40 million. He would have been a perfect wing back for. Weird situations. Yeah, I hope that they know after Mbumo and Cunha is done, and obviously the striker, they have targets in mind for the other positions, because what we're hearing at the minute is hearsay or, not sure. There's no concrete news on it at all, is there?
I think it's, once Mbumo's through the door, I think it's sales. I think that's the next step, is just getting people out the door so they can fund a goalie, a striker, all these different. So I think that's the next step. Once Mbumo's gets done, and it seems like they're just trying to figure out payment terms and add-ons and all that sort of stuff. Once that gets done, I think, you'll start to see people move out the door. Obviously, that's going to be more difficult than we say it is, because look at the state of the players we've got to get rid of. Sancho, who's refusing to take a pay cut. Anthony, who is wanted, but nobody can't afford pay the price tag. And Rashford, who again is only got what his heart set on one club, and are they going to come in for him in Barcelona? Like, it's difficult, man. Really difficult.
Yeah. We'll keep you again updated on that. All our socials, bottom right hand corner of your screen, and please do smash the like of the video, subscribe to the channel. We also have an exclusive from Academy Scoop, who's been really good. I think he got the exclusive on the Cheeto deal as well, and may have even got it on Aid in Heaven.
Is it Heaven as well? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so it's been really good when it comes to kind of youth players. So this is exclusive that Manchester United have agreed a deal to sign 16-year-old Harley Emsden-James from Southampton. Several other Premier League clubs made approaches to sign the talented centre-back, but he was convinced by United's proposal of a long-term project and eventual pathway. Heaven, we just spoken about. He's been playing first-team football already. He's been impressed scouts with his ball-playing ability and athleticism, possessing many of the attributes associated with top-level modern centre-backs. Heaven and Cheeto are fine examples of this pathway, having both arrived from Arsenal in the last 12 months and made a handful of first-team appearances. I can't say his name. Emsden-James will join United's under-18s at the start of the season as a first-year scholar, where he's expected to play the majority of his minutes during the 25-26 campaign. Another one for the future, Sam. Are you liking these type of signings from Ineos?
Yeah, man. Yeah, like, I'm all about getting the best youth players and getting them to United and providing them a pathway to get into the first team. So it's what we did under Fergie. It's what we did under Sir Matt Busby and stuff. Like, this is what this club's all about: is young talent coming through and becoming part of the first team squad and becoming United players. Like, it's what we're about. Like, youth, courage, success. It's all over Old Trafford. Like, I like this. Like, I love how good Aiden Heaven's become already. Like, he's arguably one of our better centre backs. Tyler Frederickson last year, I thought he was really impressive in the sort of small spotlight he's had. I thought he's been excellent. I think Harry Amas has took a step forward. I still think there's stuff he has to work on, but I think he's been decent. And obviously Cheeto, who's got bags and bags of talent, still very raw, but like, he's definitely on his way there. And then we've got so many exciting players who potentially we could see in the preseason, like Mantanto, Sekou Kone, not Tyler Fredrickson, Camerson, Tyler Fletcher, Jack Fletcher. Can see loads of sort of players like come through. So yeah, but the more the better. Like, let's keep it going, and I hope when we're hearing about the under-18s next season, he's a big part of it, and the people are saying he's really good and he's ready for the next step. So yeah, bring it on.
I know you shouldn't be looking at players like this. Excuse me. I know you shouldn't be looking at players like this, but I think they will be looking at someone like Aiden Heaven, for example, and think we've already flipped his value by 10 million.
Oh, yeah.
And we know in the days of PSR and the regulations and how it is at the minute, if you're bringing through players like that on a regular kind of conveyor belt, Chelsea do it really well, to be fair. I mean, they've got so many.
Yeah.
Dortmund do it quite well as well. Like, there's a lot of clubs. It just makes that green stuff that we like to see when it comes to PSR. When you sell players, it just makes it a lot easier for us, doesn't it? Just in the future.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be, not relying on that, but there'll be a lot of... not leverage. I don't know what the right word is I'm looking for, but they'll have that as a source, won't they, to go to when you need every now and then.
And it's like certain players come through, and it's happened. It was happening under Fergie where they're good players, but they're just not quite United level. But it doesn't mean they can't have a good career, and they'll go on and play somewhere else and have a decent career. And if we can like get him in early enough where we pay next to nothing for him, like Aiden Heaven was £1 million, which in football terms is next to nothing. And then they play for a couple of years, and you're like, all right, they're not quite United standard, but you let them go have a career, and then you sell them for 15-20 million. You're up on profit, 14-20 million, 19 million in profit. And that only helps. And if you do that a few times a year or a few times every couple of years, it sorts the books out for them future transfers to bring in, or future youth products to come in, or future first team starters to come in. Like it's like the one hand washing the other hand, isn't it? It's just that's how a club should operate. That's how Brighton operate. That's how Brentford operate. Like that's how Liverpool operate. Like that's how a good club should operate. And we've not been a good club like that for 20 odd years. Like it's been a long time.
It's weird, isn't it? It just feels like common sense. Like,
yeah.
If you're one of the biggest clubs in the world, why are you not finding the biggest talents in England? And I'm sure they've had networks set up, but just to ignore that, strange.
Why have you not got the greatest youth team in the world? If you're one of the biggest clubs in the world, why have you not got the best youth team in the world? Because you should be able to go. Like I was listening to Laurie Whitwell. I think it was on Paddock, and he was talking about they released the sort of figures last year, and even though we're severely in debt, income wise, we still beat any club in the Premier League out of the water. Like I think ours was 776 million income, and the next one's like down in like Newcastle, Aston Villa at 330 something. So we're like almost double what they bring in. It's just because we've got so much debt. That's what's causing the issue. But our income and money coming in the club has never been an issue because we're the biggest brand on the planet. But we've just spent it piss poorly and just built a load of debt around it. So if we can improve and get that debt paid off by producing really good young players and stuff like that, then fantastic. I know we shouldn't have the debt in the first place, and the Glazers are fucking scumbags, and we shouldn't have it in the first place. I get it, but the situation we're in, we do have it. So
yeah. I know it's too soon to use a Sir Dave Brailsford analogy because he has, I don't know if he's officially left us, but it's not really, he's been removed from his role or whatever it is. But he used the analogy in his small margins, and it seems like we're doing that in every department at United, which is then benefiting us going forward for the future and in finances as well. So it can only be a good thing, I suppose, in that regard. But look, we've come to the end of the show. Let us know your thoughts on each topic that we've been through. On the Gyokeres drama in particular, where do you stand with it? Do you think the player's right? Do you think the agent's wrong? Do you think that the president's wrong for coming out? And what you make of it just in general. On Matheus Cunha's performances, are you excited to see him in the United shirt in pre-season? I mean, pre-season don't kick off till mid-July, does it? I don't think. So we've still got to wait around a month. But you've got the Club World Cup if you're going to bother with that, international friendlies and whatnot.
None of the fans are bothering because I think they've just cut tickets again. So for $20, you can get 5 tickets.
What's
nobody's
that?
Going.
The Club World Cup?
The Club World Cup, yeah. There's not sold any tickets. So they've gone, you get 5 tickets for $20 now, which is, if you've paid full price, now remember it was like thousands of dollars or like $800. If you've paid full price, you've got to be fucking fuming.
You'd be livid. Yeah, you'd be absolutely fuming.
Absolutely livid.
Imagine getting those kind of prices at Old Trafford, like 5 tickets for 20 quid.
Oh man, it'd be sold out 30 times over if that was the case. Like it'd never stop.
You could have like 150,000 stadium capacity and it would sell out every week. But anyway,
you have like double games and it would just sell out continuously. 2 games a day and it just sell out continuously. But I think the transfer window reopens not this Monday, next Monday, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I believe.
Is it the 16th, 17th?
Yeah, 16th. So that reopens then. So hopefully big news will be coming on that front.
Yeah. Yeah. And also let us know your thoughts on the other little bits of the new goalkeeper target and the new signing from Ineos as well. My name is Nick. This has been Sam, and this has been, I don't know if it's like a bit of breaking news, your transfer roundup, call it what you want. What you want. It's a mixture of news. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Do leave a like on the video for us and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. See you in a